Welcome to Rock the Life, a podcast for fans by fans. I'm Amy,
I'm Katya.
and today we are continuing part 2 of our Bon Jovi, Richie Sambora, Dave, Brian, everybody else adventure.
It just gets better.
It does. I'm so excited. So we're gonna rehash a little bit about where we left off. So
Okay.
Katya has this big adventure. So where are you? You're in San Francisco.
I'm in San Francisco,
Mhm.
watching Richie Sambora on his solo tour with Dave, Brian, and Tico Torres. I have an amazing evening backstage. I have a radio interview the next day I do with them. And from that radio interview, I'm like, my mind is blown, and I feel that I need to share this adventure with you.
Yeah.
And I get in the
So
car and drive here.
yeah, and I think this is a Wednesday now. We're on Wednesday. If memory serves correct, it's a Wednesday because and the reason I remember this is because you get to my house and you share this crazy, but Jen is with you, and you're both talking so fast. We're like, what? And my mom is there, and my mom has this connection to Richie Sambora. So in 1989, when we had the backstage passes, my friend who I went with, Laura, and we made this sign for my mom, right? And it said Woodbridge
Mm.
alumni, blood on blood. And my mom, a few years before, but my mom went to the same high school in New Jersey, Woodbridge High School, as Richie. And so as we're talking about Richie, my mom's like, I want to go. I'll drive.
I want to go. I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in.
I'm in. Yeah.
Well, Amy, I have to put a little more context to this. You're in high school.
Yeah.
This is
Mm-hmm.
a Wednesday. You're in high school, and I
Mm-hmm.
drove up
Mm-hmm.
after school to see you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And my mom's like, you guys, my mom's pretty cool. She was like,
She's
I'll
very
drive.
cool.
She excused me from school the next day. And probably maybe even that Friday. I don't know. I was pretty excited. I think I went to school on Friday.
Well, we decided because it was Wednesday, and
yeah,
the band
the show was Thursday.
playing Thursday in Los Angeles at the
Yeah.
UCLA, the Bruins Theater, or whatever the
Mm-hmm.
theater's named is on campus. And
Mm-hmm.
for us where we lived, it was like a 7 hour drive away. It wasn't just a hop away. We had to be a little organized.
Uh-huh. But it wasn't really organized.
Well, no, but
we left
decided
that night. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't even know, like, if I went home to get a different change of clothes, like this week of my life, I don't think I really slept. I was living on just like adrenaline and energy.
Mm-hmm.
So we get in the car and we drive to LA with your mom.
Yeah, we do. My mom and I quickly pack, I remember, and you guys are going to see that purple jacket. I don't know why I thought that jacket was so rock and roll.
I was wearing a purple tank top.
Oh, it was so
Purple
funny.
was our thing. Purple was our thing.
I'm like, oh, there's the jacket again. Looking at the pictures. Yeah, but we literally drive through the night. And, I don't remember if we stopped and slept. I have a picture of the sweatshirt and leggings I was wearing because we get down to LA, and I remember somewhere about 10 a.m. you had been given maybe where they were going to stay. I don't know. I don't remember the information that you have. Mm-hmm.
We have some details.
But around 10 a.m., we pull up to this hotel and there's a limo. And guess who's getting out of the limo? And
Richie.
And we haven't slept. We've driven all night, and we immediately get out of the car. I don't have any other pictures from anybody else, but I have a picture of me and Richie with me having been awake all night and just getting out of the limo.
I remember at that moment, I was like, Amy gets to experience this too. And it was all about you in that moment, that we already had our kind of our Richie moments. And now it was you coming on board with it.
It was so fun. And I just remember thinking, oh, he's really tall. I remember feeling like, oh, I'm so short. just kind of, but
He was, I
we
mean,
say,
and we have to remember Richie at that moment in 1991, as I'm going back and looking at pictures of him, he
oh,
was
so
like
cute.
one of the most beautiful men in the entire world.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
that's it.
Absolutely. I'm going through the pictures too. And as I'm posting for all of the things for part one, I'm like, oh, goodness gracious.
Hot,
Um,
hot, hot, hot.
yeah. Yeah. And just, in moments, not only just incredibly like hot, but so cute. We shared a picture of the radio interview that you have that's the next
Mm.
morning. And you can tell it's morning and he's just got this grin and he looks exhausted but still so just cute and lively
Adorable.
and adorable.
Yeah.
It's just, we're like, oh my gosh, okay. So I get out of the car and we're like, we're coming to the show, we drove all night and we made it. And do you remember, did we see anybody else? Who else was in the limo? Anybody else that you recognized or talked to through
I
that?
don't know. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Do you remember?
But uh no, but I remember after that we ventured around
We went to
LA and
Hard Rock Cafe.
Hollywood. We
We went
did
to
go to
Hard Rock
Hard Rock
Cafe
Cafe.
because
Yeah, we
that
have a
was like
picture.
the most appropriate thing to do at that moment was like, we're
And
on a rock star adventure. We're going to Hard Rock.
Hard Rock Cafe. And I don't think we ate at Rock and Roll Denny's, but we at
Favorite
least
place.
pointed that out to my mom. Oh, yeah. At this time,
Did she know that we had
this
had our
was,
Hollywood adventure?
I spilled everything the day I turned 18. Like the day I turned 18, I was chomping at
Okay.
the bit. Mom, you'll never guess what I did. But I graduated. This was 91. I graduated in 92. She knew because I turned 18 the beginning of
September
my senior year. So
of your
she
senior
knew.
year.
So she knew
Okay.
at this
So
point.
we went
So
to
yeah, she did.
there's this time lapse I have between
Yeah.
we meet Richie, we say hi to him.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Mm-hmm.
just so like, ooh. So we go to Hard Rock
Mm-hmm.
Cafe and
Mm-hmm.
then we get our will call tickets at
Mm-hmm.
UCLA. And the show probably didn't start till evening. I don't remember what we did between Hard Rock Cafe and evening.
I actually talked to my mom this morning and I was like, what do you remember? And she remembers what she wore. And we'll get to that in a little bit later and why that's pertinent. Uh, but she said actually that we ended up getting ready in like a gas station or maybe it was a restaurant bathroom. This was such a rock and roll trip. You guys, we didn't plan anything. We didn't have a place to stay. We drove all night. I
I bet
remember
we ate
being
apples and bean
exhausted.
burritos. Taco Bell and apples. No, just kidding.
I
I
bet we
think we
did.
elevated at this trip. I think we were like, oh my
Well,
God, we're having Hard
we
Rock.
did eat. Yeah, we ate at Hard Rock. I remember. And then, yeah, but we just, my mom told me this morning, she goes, yeah, we got ready in a gas station. But I can't imagine because of what we were wearing and the makeup that we had on. I feel like it maybe was more of a restaurant and maybe not a
No, I
gas
think it
station.
could,
Did we
no, I
get
think it
ready?
could have been a mix of everything. It could have
Yeah,
been a mix of everything of how we got
it
ready.
might have been. It might have been. But I just remember feeling like, this is so rock and roll. I
And
just
we
remember.
were on and the show was, I mean, I guess one of the cool things about Richie, like this tour of Stranger in This Town, like we have to remember this is coming off Bon Jovi playing the biggest stadiums in
Yep.
the world from the
Yep.
80s up until 91. They have been
Yep.
playing mega stadiums nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
And now
Mm-hmm.
here is Richie, Dave, and Tico
And an
playing
amphitheater.
a college amphitheater, one that I had went to before. I knew this amphitheater, and it was
And
like
like,
this was also amazing. It was like this was
yeah,
an up close. Even the show was like up
yeah,
close and personal
yeah,
of the Bon
yeah,
Jovi guys.
yeah. It was so cool.
So we have these like balcony seats. They're really
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
A little side note. VIP tickets sometimes when you get them backstage, they never put you up front. I want to be at the pit up front. And they
I
always give
know.
you these like lovely seats to see the crowd from
Where
afar.
you see the whole
And that's,
stage. Yeah.
we saw the whole thing. And it was, I mean, it was lovely seats at the time, um, in those
And
tickets.
truth be told, those seats do have the best sound. up
They do.
front.
No, and it was
Yeah, I mean,
the vision
yeah,
where we saw it was a balcony seats.
yeah,
It was a
yeah,
theater seating seats. It felt like the king
yeah.
seats, like where the princess would sit. That was us.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that was, and it was awesome. Um,
It,
do you remember if I took my sign?
oh, I felt like we took a sign.
Because I thought I remembered, and we'll get to it later. I thought I remember that coming into play a little bit later in the night, or it's not
Ooh.
in any of the pictures. But
But
I
you have to
really
remember,
thought,
back with film cameras, we were very
yeah,
judicious in how many
yeah, that's
pictures we
true.
took. We
Yeah,
weren't
and
taking like
that's very true.
tons of pictures because
Yeah,
we didn't have enough film.
I cannot imagine that I didn't take my sign.
Okay, I
I
think you
I
took your
really
sign. I think
think
you took your
I
sign.
I I think I did too. I'd saved it from when we had it before because, like I said in the last one, nobody showed up backstage. Really wanted it signed, and that never happened. So yeah, pretty sure we took the sign.
So
And
I mean, the show was, of course, amazing, and he was
phenomenal.
very, very bluesy. And then we go backstage again. I mean, the
Well,
big point
hold on
was
though.
like to get backstage.
Hold on though. Who opened?
Billy Falcon. Oh my gosh, I can't, Amy. I Today I was replaying some of Billy Falcon's songs,
Yeah.
and what was the song was like Power Windows. I played it and I could sing it word for word because that was another anthem to my life. He was this like
Mm.
amazing singer. It was, and I come to realize too, Billy Falcon since then has co-wrote with John Bon Jovi all
Mm.
their albums.
Huh.
So he co-wrote Crush, Bounce, Lost Highway, The Circle, What About Now,
Wow.
Burning Bridges, and This House Is Not for Sale. At least 3 or 4 songs on every album.
Wow.
So he was a big
Okay.
that he was also part of the John Bon Jovi universe
Mhm.
was
Mhm.
Billy
Mhm.
Falcon at that time. And he
Wow.
opened for them and in San Francisco and LA.
Mm. Oh,
I had spoken to them in San Francisco and I had not known his music before then, and I have
right,
become a
right.
big fan.
That's awesome.
Power
Do you
Windows. Oh
remember
my gosh, that is an amazing
was
song.
was his set acoustic? Was it just him? Do you
No,
remember?
he had a band. He had a
Okay,
band
okay,
because
okay,
one of the guys in the band, Ralph, for the life of me, I wish I could remember Ralph's last name. He was in the band too, and another
okay,
just like sweetheart of a guy to us.
okay,
And
okay. And we'll
I
get to
guess
that
it
probably in
blows
a
my
little bit.
mind too. Billy Falcon should have been huge too because he is a great
Yeah,
musician and a
yeah,
very like when he sings it like goes to your soul. He was
yeah.
another just
That's like Richie.
wonderful.
I
Yes,
feel like.
Billy
Gosh.
Falcon opened Billy Falcon in the band.
Okay. I have been listening to Richie just to kind of refresh and get really super excited and remember all the things. And I'm like, Mr. Bluesman
Oh,
is absolutely accurate for him. And,
didn't
on
Eric Clapton played with him on that one. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh, I love that. I
Yes.
love that.
Okay, so Amy, let's go back. So
Yeah.
now we
Yes.
go backstage. We have our passes.
Hmm.
What, what I remember is walking backstage, and the first person I see is Dave Bryan,
Yeah.
and I lose
And that
my
was you
like,
made it. And yeah,
yes.
yeah. That was really, really cool. Oddly enough, we said, Bon Jovi minus John, but there was a Bon Jovi there. Matt was there. And we're like, yeah. Exactly.
I found the photo.
Yeah.
Well, because I also remember Abe at the same time, like, okay, this is going to be, I think I mentioned in my last episode, like, I kept longingly looking at Richie because I was like,
Hmm. Hmm.
obviously crazy about Richie.
Yeah.
And I remember Dave and Tico being like, girlfriend, we have some other guys for you, like more
Right.
appropriate. That is not the man for you. Like, girlfriend, let me tell you right now. And
Oh,
they
that's
kept
awesome.
rattling
And they would
off like
know.
all these other like cousins, brothers, friends, like that they were going to set me up with because I
Oh,
needed a
that's so
boyfriend at
fun.
the time. And
That's
yeah,
so fun.
and I
That's so funny.
remember
But
like them being like joking of like, hey, how about this one?
here's Matt. Right, right. Okay, so another
Oh,
part of that, like, this was Hollywood Central. Like, yes, we're at UCLA, but this was I remember um I will say it was a little bit different from your San Francisco show. We did
it was.
have a
It
lot of
was.
little black dresses and
Oh yeah.
stilettos, but not as many. I don't feel like, based on your description, because I didn't
No.
feel overly uncomfortable. I
We
felt
looked
it
cute.
in my purple jacket. Blazer. It's a blazer. It's not even like a cropped
I was
cute.
in
It's
purple
a
too. I think I had a
blazer.
leather jacket and a blazer. I like stepped it up this one. But do
So
you
funny.
remember? And this is what I'm trying to rack my brain on too. This is
Mhm.
Hollywood. Like we're
Mhm.
Hollywood. We're with Bon Jovi, the biggest band in
Mhm.
the world at this time.
Mhm.
Do you remember seeing actors and actresses, just different
I
actors and musicians
I
backstage?
I do, and I remember my mom
Mm,
recognizing, like,
yeah.
Cher was not there, but there were a lot. Oh, I should have
Oh my
asked her
gosh.
this. I think
Cher's band was there. Can I tell you a Cher band story?
yes.
Okay, because let's just go back. So like John and Richie produced one of Cher's albums in the late
Mhm.
80s.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that I think they were pretty tight with her band. And so Dave went to introduce me to Cher's band.
Oh,
And
nice.
being the absolutely like again, me and my just like ridiculousness, I meet the band and I am like, wow, oh my gosh, I love Cher. I was like, I have a Cher Barbie. And I am telling these men, like not showing my age at all. And I am like, oh, I have a Cher Barbie, and I love my Cher Barbie because Cher Barbie wore purple, and she was just bigger than the other Barbies. And I am talking about my Cher Barbie with her band. And these guys, like they were beautiful. They were beautiful men on top of this. And they like hit the floor and were dying. And then I realized I'm talking about a Barbie and I am showing my age. Trying to be cool, but I am talking about my Cher Barbie doll.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, my
yeah.
eyes are watering like crazy right now. Share Barbie. Okay, that's
Playing it
gonna be the
cool, playing it
new.
cool. Play it cool,
Oh,
Katya. Got it. Yeah, no, was not playing it. I just like whatever. Yeah. So met
oh,
Cher's
oh,
band who were there, and
oh.
like mortified myself with that.
I think I'm gonna
Um,
go back. I think okay. Gosh, I don't know if I remember her name. Okay, and forgive me because my mom was a big fan and was like, but and it's not Annette O'Toole. It's not her. It's what's her name?
Annette Bening.
She was a well-known actress. I should probably have looked it up, but
No,
I'm
there
just
were.
now
It
remembering
was. I mean,
this.
there were other musicians
Anne
and
Margaret?
actors there.
Maybe it was Anne
No
Margaret.
idea.
Maybe is that
No
I
idea.
don't I don't know.
Amy, let's be real. I was focused on all the guitarists. I mean,
Right, right. But I think
and the
that she
piano
was
player.
there.
There was no. Okay.
Right. But I
But you
think
know
that
who
there
else?
were a lot of celebrities there. And I
You know
think she
who?
was one of them.
But one celebrity that we hung out with that I'm still amazed with. He's probably one of the most artistic,
Hmm.
continues to be one of the most artistic people in the world, and that is Wayne Isham.
I
And
loved
he had
that.
produced Bon Jovi's videos, Def Leppard's videos, Motley Crue videos, Ricky Martin, NSYNC, Britney Spears. And in 1991, that year, him and Bon Jovi won like MTV Video Vanguard Awards.
Okay, so let's get specific. Wayne Isham is the man behind the Pour Some Sugar on Me video. He's
He's
the
the man
man
behind so many
behind
videos.
Wanted, Bad Name, uh,
Yeah,
all of the live videos. Like
coolest
if
guy
there
in the
was
room.
a
Yeah.
yeah, okay. I loved Wayne Isham. He was
Oh, we loved him.
so funny. So funny. And funny enough, he came down from San Francisco. So I have a feeling he was at your show too. And we just didn't. And I
Oh,
think it
and
was
can I
Dave.
just throw
Yes, yes.
at the time, and I think he might still, Wayne Isham at the time had like gorgeous white blonde hair,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
long,
So cute.
beautiful. Yeah, he's a
And we
cutie in his
actually
own
have
right.
something very rare with Wayne Isham because this man, he was always behind the camera. And we hung out with him for probably a little bit, giggling, and he was so funny. And okay, this is where my mom comes into play. So my mom, growing up, it was just, she was, I think, 5'9" and 120, 130 pounds, and had legs like to die for.
Yeah.
And when we figure we're going on this trip, she brought her leather skirt. So here's my mom, looking all hot in her leather skirt and legs up to her eyeballs. And, she's hanging out with us. And Wayne Isham is just, forgive me if he was with somebody at the time. I don't know. But he was hitting on her. He was just so charming and funny.
So charming.
And we're like, we have to get a picture. And he's like, no, I stand behind the camera. I don't take pictures.
We're like,
yes, you do.
We're getting a picture.
And so
we're getting
the first picture, he actually throws his jacket over his head. He's like, no, I don't take pictures. And we have a picture with him with the jacket over the head, which we'll share. And then eventually we talked him down, and we have a picture with Wayne Isham, which was so unbelievably cool, I felt like. And then he's sitting on my mom. He's like, oh, you guys are from San Francisco? I'm from San Francisco. I took a private plane down here. He goes, you guys want to, and he's talking to my mom. He's like, you want to ride back to the city? He like totally genuinely offered her a trip. I know. And we're like, Mom,
and
go.
Like the three minions.
We'll drive
the car.
I know.
The background.
Right?
We'll drive the car.
Yeah, we'll drive the car. My mom's like, that's my car.
But is there any doubt that, like, really Wayne Isham was the coolest man in that room?
Oh my gosh.
Like, he's a genius. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like, and we, even at our young ages, were like aware of that.
This is the man.
Because gosh, some of our favorite videos. I mean, Lord have mercy, what it would have been like.
He's still producing videos. Like, he even did NSYNC.
Yeah.
Britney Spears. Like, he is still going.
Phenomenal. Like, we should, I'll look him up on Instagram. We'll tag him. It'll be like one of the very few photos of Wayne Isham we got. But yeah, no, that was so fun. I specifically remember that. And, I remember we were there so long that the crowd started to disperse. And this time, do you remember food or drinks being back there?
No.
Yeah, same.
I think I was living off air.
Either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But I just remember it was almost like a big hotel conference room, it felt like.
That's exactly what it was. But I do remember, like, we had Wayne Isham. We were hanging out, of course, with Dave still. And then the Billy Falcon and Ralph from his band.
Okay, yeah. I remember at one point we made our way over to Richie. I do remember feeling really short because, everybody,
the presence of greatness. Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember feeling that, but it wasn't uncomfortable to the extent where, I don't know. But we did finally I finally got to meet Richie. I'm pretty sure I got my poster signed. Now, I feel like my poster is with my drumstick, my Michael Foster drumstick, wherever that box is. I'm sure it's in there. Yeah, because I remember having the discussion with him, having him sign it and going, he was looking at it and it's like Woodbridge, and it was like, oh, and my mom was there, and it was like, oh, my mom went to the same high school. I remember doing that. Pretty sure I put my Stranger in This Town sticker on the, the Backstage pass.
You remember they also gave us some Richie Sambora promo gear that he was doing for Stranger in This Town too, which included like necklaces and CDs, like a beautiful like picture CD thing that you opened up with the CD.
Did that happen in LA or did that happen at the Warfield? Because I have a picture of you and Jen. Was it? Okay.
I think I got both. I was trying to get more to like hand out to everyone because I thought it was so cool.
Yeah, I'll have to. I think I remember a little bag. Thinking back on it.
Yeah, no, it was another crazy fun time, like talking to people, making connections.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another one, Amy. I remember, absolutely remember hanging out with Dave and everyone there and him introducing us to people as we went along. Do you remember
Hmm.
Tico
Hmm.
being there?
I'll have to look back at the
I
pictures.
I
I
don't
feel like
remember.
I had a picture with Tico.
I'm
I
sure
feel
we
like
did, but I don't remember hanging out with Tico in LA. Not like we did in San
not
Francisco.
majorly, but I really feel like I got a picture. Hold on, I gotta scroll back. I I was
Yeah,
like
you'll find. Yes,
prepared.
Amy's looking at her
Um,
camera, trying to check. Yeah.
okay, so this is San Francisco with you guys. We still can't figure out who this is with Richie, right? We still don't know who's that.
Oh, I think that's one of the guys in Cher's band.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that, but I'm like, I don't know his name. Uh, there's okay. Here's when we first got out of the car.
Yeah,
The sun
that's in
is
the
so
car. That's in
bright.
LA. That's when we
Yep,
knew what
yep. That
hotel
was
he
the
was
first
at.
one. We'll put all of these up here. I'm gonna save the Wayne Isham pics. Um,
Eee.
I've got me and Richie in the. Who's this?
That's Billy Falcon.
Billy Falcon. That's what I thought. I just didn't want to
And
be
that's what I was
wrong. We'll
hoping.
put
I
all of
didn't
these
have
up.
a really good picture of Billy, but Billy is like, I would still love to see if he's playing sometime to go see him play. Incredible musician, guitarist. He
Yeah.
was just wonderful.
No pictures of me with Tico. So Tico was not there.
Right
I
now, I
think
was
I
going to say that
remember
I don't
discussing
remember.
that. I think I
Yeah, I
remember
think, yeah.
talking about
Tico,
that,
I don't,
that he
because we were
wasn't there.
hanging out with Dave and having so much fun and being
Mm-hmm.
goofballs around that whole place, like having him introduce us to people, meeting with people.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
what happened at the end of the night? What was going to be maybe the next adventure? Do you remember? It was
Uh,
close to Thanksgiving,
oh,
and they
you're
said,
going to have to
"Do you
fill
want to
me in.
come? Oh, do you want to come to Jersey for Thanksgiving?" It was like a few days later, and I was like, yes, please. And it was going to go back to like Saraville or around there. And Saraville was like at the time, like the epicenter of coolness because that's where they were
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
that whole area. And they were like, do you want to just do you want to come to Jersey? And I was like,
Wow.
well, yes, I do want to come to Jersey and spend Thanksgiving with you all. Um, And then reality sobered me because I only had so much money saved up to go for my year in Russia, and the price of a plane ticket um, was going to totally eat up into my
I
minimal little pocket of savings. So we couldn't go to New Jersey. So
I'm feeling
I
like
made that very adult decision, which I might
sucked.
regret to this day. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going through and I'm like you can probably see as you're talking like the wheels are turning in my head. And I feel like okay, I'm trying to set the stage because my mind works very I want to say vividly, but usually I get like the image of the memory, not just and maybe that's the way everybody works, I don't know, but were were we who was around
It was
when
Dave and the like Bon Jovi brothers, and they were in.
and
They said
Matt.
they were like, "Do you want to come to
I
Jersey?"
feel
And I
like
had
we were
totally thought
I,
about it.
I remember the carpet. I think I remember this, and that's why I'm like the wheels are turning, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how did I not remember this? You guys would be surprised some of the things that I did not remember, even from our Def Leppard story. So it's like, how did you not remember this? Um, was my mom there? Because I feel
No,
like if my
she
mom
wasn't. It
had
would
been
have
there for
no,
that, then she would have
mm-mm,
said yes, let's go.
no,
But yeah, so
no,
I
no.
remember I remember almost like a
It was
corner.
invite. Yeah, it was invite the kids to Jersey to celebrate Thanksgiving. But I was 6 weeks away from my Russian trip, and I just thought I cannot be reckless with money and fly to Jersey
I
from
do.
California.
I vaguely remember that. We'll have to
For
talk about that more, and I
Thanksgiving.
bet it will come back.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
shoot.
at that point,
Yeah.
really, even after the LA experience of being with them all, again, it was so amazing. Everyone was so kind to us. And then also, when they thought that we were going to drive back that night, um,
Yeah.
some of the
Because we
guys
didn't
from
have a
Billy,
hotel.
we didn't
Yeah.
have, and some of the guys from Billy Falcon, they were just like, oh my God, our hotel rooms are right here. Go to our rooms and take a nap. And we had thought about it and we went up to the room and then we thought, we turned around and we were like, no, we really need to get back to the Bay Area
Yeah.
to school and work and all our other
Yeah.
responsibilities.
I
So
think
yeah,
that
they
was my
offered
mom
us to
too. She's like,
attend.
I have to go to work. I
Yeah.
have to, yeah, yeah. And I went to school the next day, and as exhausted as I was high as a kite, high,
Oh my
just
God.
like coming
So
off like
amazing.
I wasn't here because I was in LA. You know,
With
I
Bon
was not
Jovi.
quiet. I know it was pretty much. It was
No,
like,
but it was at that time, like it's even again, it's so hard to describe. Like Bon Jovi was literally the biggest
yeah,
band in the world at that time.
yeah,
And I couldn't even explain or even verbalize the experience we had with them. And so many people, like again, even in the decade after that, I'd be like, I couldn't even tell people about that Bon Jovi experience with Richie
yeah,
and Dave and Tico because it didn't even sound real of what happened and how amazing
right.
it was and how awesome, how it all
Yeah,
played out. And then in the
I
end, having to end it and just be like, no, I
doesn't
mean,
that
at that
suck?
point, I was seriously considering like, boy, if I could
Yeah.
connect and stay and have this experience with them. And I thought, no, I have another dream I need to pursue too. And yeah, stopped it. It
That was
was,
your That was the first of the hard
mm,
ones. No wonder it was easier for
mm,
you to say no to Bobby because you'd already said it before. You're like, no, I mean, my gosh, I was in high
yeah.
school. I was ready. I'm like, I remember, okay, so how funny is this? So this was my senior year, and I was still in the ROP marketing class. That oh, this was right after Warrant because yeah, you're gonna laugh. Warrant was uh October and this was November. Okay, so I totally skipped out on that competition to go see Warrant for my
Sorry,
ROP
I'm
marketing
such a
class.
bad influence. Yes.
I had the day that my mom excused me, so it was fine. But the day that I was supposed to, that Thursday, I was supposed to give a report on the Moscow Music Peace Festival. Isn't that
Oh my
funny?
God.
I had my poster, I had everything ready. I was ready for my report on the Moscow Music Peace Festival. And I totally got back to school, and everybody was like, "You were supposed to give your report yesterday, da da da," and give me a hard time. I was like, "It's fine." I was in LA, and I was with Richie Sambora and all of Bon Jovi except John, and I was like, I was not at all quiet about that. Even got up there, and when I gave my report, exhausted off my butt on Friday, I actually told the whole class all of that. I was so excited from that. Just
Do you think people
high as a
believed you?
kite. I yes, actually, because
Okay.
they had the pictures from at this point.
San Francisco,
They had the pictures
possibly.
from Warrant when I skipped out, and I was like, "See, see, see." I yeah, um, yeah, they did. I was
Yeah,
kind
it
of
was.
okay. So we lived in Pleasanton, and at least for my part in high school, uh, people were aware that I had met a few bands. So there was
Mhm.
speculation about my behavior.
It's okay. People can still
But that's
speculate.
fine.
It
Yeah.
was, yeah, it was, no, that was that LA experience just topped it off of the show, walking into that like total Hollywood LA scene at a different level than we
Yeah.
had when we had our just like fun
Yeah.
visit the Hollywood scene
Yeah. Yeah.
experience. And this was like we were surrounded by rock gods.
Like, oh my word.
It
Like
was
huge.
again, it's mind blowing. It is
Mm-hmm.
mind blowing that we could do this and we
Yeah.
got to experience this with Bon
Yeah.
Jovi. And again,
Yeah.
just ever since then, before that, since then, Bon Jovi's just been such an influence on me. Their music,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
everything about them. I just kind of like just had it in my
Mm-hmm.
pocket that they're my guys, they're my band, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I think
loved
at
it.
one point, I don't know if we recorded it or not, or if we aired it, you had asked me, like if I had to choose like some top songs to define my
Hmm.
life. A lot of Def Leppard songs were in there. There's a Disciple song in there, but one that is absolutely up at the top, hands
It
down, is Blood
it's
on
my
Blood.
life. Oh, Blood on Blood
Oh,
too.
Blood on Blood.
Blood on
Yeah.
Blood.
Well, because for every show that the girls down in California went to that I had moved away from, every show they would call, since cell phones, they would call me and hold the phone up, and we would all kind of listen to Blood on Blood together. For they never missed a Bon Jovi show ever. And I only stopped because I moved up here.
Yeah, you
And,
were away
you
from it.
know, and so that would definitely be. And then I'll tell you what, little undercover story. It's My Life is the reason I'm here. We moved
I
to
know that.
Oregon.
I know.
So I mean, huge
Influence.
influence. Yeah. Crazy. Insane.
I know. So, like, how did you feel
Hmm.
when you heard Richie Sambora was no longer in the band?
Wasn't Bon Jovi to me anymore, and I didn't buy
Mm,
any more tapes or CDs.
mm,
That's when I
mm.
stopped listening.
You know, Aim, I have
Truthfully,
to
I'm
say,
really
no,
sorry, but
it's,
that's
I know. And that's like, I looked at now because I'm looking at the albums first before I could tell you every lyric, every song on the
mhm,
album. I memorized, knew everything. I think when
mhm,
Richie left, it hurt me. It
mhm,
really
mhm,
did. And interesting. Like here we are in 2025 now, and in
mhm,
2024 was their
mhm,
four-part special. Thank you, good night. I think it could have been
mhm,
longer. I think there's a lot that show didn't cover.
mhm,
Being like
mhm.
a diehard, like I knew so much
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
Still trying to explain why he was gone and why he left. And yeah,
I think
totally
there's a
not the
lot
same.
of background there, but I will tell you my very controversial opinion, probably, on
I
John and
probably
his
believe him.
voice, because John and Richie were this duo,
Oh,
and had Richie
so
on his own
complimentary.
has an incredible
Incredible
voice.
voice.
Incredible voice. The two
Yeah.
of them together were, I used to say, like John and Richie were like, did you ever see Austin Powers? It's like a schmuck and a pancake, And whenever they just went together. It was like peanut butter and jelly. You
They
can't.
did. They
I
did.
I
I was like,
always
it
felt like
was,
it was, yeah, it was hard to have one without the other. And I truly feel that that's when John strained his voice. Richie was such a powerhouse
because
behind him. And
he didn't
when
have
he
Richie to
no
back him
longer
up
had that, he had to
or to
try
compliment
to,
him, not even back him up. Yeah.
yeah.
Make up.
Well, I
He
think,
had to make up for
yeah,
that.
I think in so many songs, in some songs, Richie backed him up. And in some songs, they were side by side. And I feel like when Richie was no longer a part of Bon Jovi, that John had to use his voice to work even harder than he had previously. And I think that's what
It
destroyed his
just
voice.
it just lost a little of the magic for me.
That's, yeah, that's my speculation anyway. So you take it for what it's worth. Get mad at me if you want. I don't know, but that's what I think. And yeah, that's I
Yeah,
really, I didn't really listen to Bon Jovi after that. So I'm really sorry, everybody, but that's the truth.
yeah.
So,
But no,
all right, my friend.
magic time, magic years, like time
Seriously,
of our lives. Time of
can we
our
just
lives.
rewind? I want to rewind.
It
Can we
was,
do it again?
and again, Amy, I just have to like go back to like at this time, we thought these guys, they were legendary, like amazing, amazing. They were in their 30s.
I was not
What?
doing anything like that when I was in my 30s.
They were in their 30s and they've already
So
like
crazy.
been
It's
like
insane.
played a seen
Yeah.
a million faces and rocked them all. Like
Yeah.
literally the entire world backwards and forwards, up and down. They had
Mm-hmm.
already played that, done that, and this was like their downtime.
Right?
30s. They were in their 30s.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. So amazing. Okay.
go boys, go.
Right. We're at the end of our time.
We
So
are.
I have loved reliving this time. Completely forgot. I'm so like, we decided when we were going to start this episode that we weren't going to talk about the things that we remembered. I did call my mom, but to see what she remembered. But you totally put that back in there for Thanksgiving. And I'm like, oh my word, I think I remember this. Um, another one of those. Anyway, like and subscribe. Follow along. This is part 2 of Bon Jovi, Richie Sambora, Dave Bryan adventure. We have a few more to tell. Plus, we have some really great guests coming up on the show. So make sure you click that subscribe button so you get all of the notifications. Now, there's something that we're announcing today that's going to carry us through to May 15th. So this is going to air, oh shoot, I forgot the date, but it'll be a little more than a month. And it's super simple. We want this podcast to grow. And in order to do that, we really need your help. So we're going to give away a Rock the Life t-shirt to, at this point, one lucky person, but we might,
Or more.
or more. Right at this point, we'll just go from there. So how can you win? All right, there's a couple of different ways. The super simple way is to head on over to Rock the Life Girl on Instagram. If you're not already following, follow, and then go into our reels and just share a reel
I'm going
from
to try to do that right now as we're
any
talking.
any one you want, either from this episode, another episode, and make sure that you tag Rock the Life Girl on that share. Just put on your stories and share. If you don't tag me, I won't see it and I cannot count your entry. So make sure you tag at Rock the Life Girl and just share any of, like, pick your favorite episode and share a reel from that episode. If you would like bonus points, there is a tricky little bit of a way that you can do that. If you are familiar with Instagram, it's not tricky at all. But if you aren't overly familiar, you don't do a lot, then it could be. I'm going to leave those instructions in the show notes. Essentially, what you're going to do is you're going to click the share button on one of our videos from YouTube, and you're going to copy that and you're going to put the link on your stories. So if you don't know how to do that, read the show notes and we'll describe to you how to do that in detail. So those will get you 10 bonus
And also,
entries.
I want to add, like, if anyone else has a Bon Jovi story, I would love
Yeah.
to hear it and to talk about it and to, like, yeah, just relive.
So fun. I love it. Okay, so Rock the Life Girl on Instagram. Share, share, share. Help us grow, and you can win a shirt. If you'd like to check out a shirt and you really don't want to go through the work of maybe possibly winning, you can go to rtlmerch.com. There's shirts, sweatshirts, although we're getting into summer season. There's mugs. There's a really cool scarf and a hat. And what else is there? There's a coffee mug, like a travel coffee mug. Those are fun. Okay. Is that it, babe? Are we done?
Aim, this was fantastic. This was like, love this. Love,
I love that.
love our
And we're sharing all the pictures. So Wayne Isham pictures. It's really funny. We have multiple pictures of me with Richie, and neither one of us are looking at the same camera at the same time. It's so funny. Like, I'm over here,
and there
he's
were
over
no cell
there.
phones. I don't know what was happening. I know. I don't know what was happening at that
it was
moment.
crazy, but it was fun. It was
crazy backstage.
All right, you guys.
On. Okay.
As always, don't forget.
Rock the life.
Rock the life.
Rock the life.
Love it.
Bye,
okay.
babe.
Bye, babe.